to my channel. This week I thought it'd be fun to share with you guys my TBR for the month of January. I have made a much more reasonable reading goal for myself this year. My goal is to get through 30 books, which I think is more manageable. Last year my goal was 52 and I ended up reading 71, which is nuts, but this year's going to be a lot more hectic and crazy, and I have no idea how much time I'm actually going to have to read and that kind of thing, just with all the stuff going on in our lives and that kind of thing. So I want to give myself a little bit of a break and just stick to 30, so that's my goal. But I wanted to lay out with you guys what I'm planning on reading this month. So yeah, if you're interested, just keep watching. Okay, so I actually have 6 books written down that I would like to get through / maybe start this month. There's only like 3 on there that I really want to get finished this month, and the rest are kind of just like extra suggestions that if they run over, then there's always February. So yeah, my first book that I really want to get through is A Court of Thorn and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I have had this series on my like TBR for forever now, and I've just never given it the time that it needs to be read. And I've kind of gotten more back into like YA stuff, and so I would definitely love to read it. So I thought it'd be a good way to kick off the year and just tackle it while the year's fresh, while things aren't as busy and that kind of thing. So that's the first book on my TBR for this month that I definitely would like to get through. It's definitely a huge book, so we'll see how it goes. And from the few people that I've like been recommended this series by, they say the first book's kind of like it drags a little because you figure there's 6 or 7 other books in the series, and the first book, I mean obviously it's the first book in a series, there's a lot of world building and backstory and that kind of thing. But I'm still looking forward to it, and I can't wait to read it. The second book on my TBR that I want to read is called Foolish Hearts by Emma Mills. I have seen this book going around on BookTube, and it just looks like a cute, kind of quick, contemporary read. And so I thought it'd be a good one to throw on there so I can kind of read it simultaneously while I'm reading A Court of Thorns and Roses. Because it is so big and so daunting, I thought it'd be nice to have something just like short and sweet to kind of mix it up if I want to read something else. So that's kind of like my like go-to while I'm reading book. And then the next book that I really want to get done this month is A Clockwork Princess. I have literally been reading this book for the past like 2 or 3 years. I started it forever ago. I am the worst when it comes to finishing series. It's always such a struggle for me. I feel like it's just like internal, like I don't want this like series and the characters to end, so I just don't finish them. And that's kind of where I'm at with this book. I really want to finish it this year because I would love to read the Immortal Instrument series, and I haven't read any of those because I've been stuck on the Clockwork series. So yeah, that's on my list. Like that is one of my biggest goals. I even like last year I started like I reread the beginning of it because it had been so long since I started it. I actually ended up like skipping through a bunch of it because as I was rereading I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. And it's just one of those things where I'm a terrible like rereader, so I kind of just skipped to where I was anyway. But this year I'm going to finish that book. Maybe I'll read that one also. I don't know how many books I'm going to be reading at once, but I am a serial like read multiple things at the same time kind of person. So we'll see how it goes. I would just love to get through this book finally and be done, so I can move on to the rest of the series and that kind of thing. That being said, I really want to read The Last Star in the Rick Yancey The Fifth Wave series. I absolutely loved The Fifth Wave and The Infinite Sea, and I got The Last Star. Like I pre-ordered it, was so ready to read it, and I just never got around to it. And I think it's kind of the same thing where it's like I just don't want it to end, so I just don't read it. And why, Alyssa, why? But yeah, so that's on my list of also like that's like one of my top books that I want to get read as this year starts. So that's on there as well. And then I've got 2 romance novels that I kind of threw on the end of that list because they're also books in a few series that I had started last year that I never actually got through. Towards the end of my romance binging phase, I kind of got to a point where I was like, all right, I really like these books, but I'm kind of over the romance novels right now, so I just stopped reading them. But one of them is called Royally Endowed, and it's the 3rd book in the Royal series by Emma Chase. and I would love to finish reading that one. So that is on my list. And the other book on my list is Hard Hitter by Serena Bowen. I love her books. I loved all of her series, and I kind of went through one of her other series, and then I started this one because I kind of got on like a romance novel, hockey player centric binge, and that was kind of one of the ones that I hit. And I actually started this one. I think I got a few chapters in, or actually no, it was like a teaser chapter in the book before, but it was like a chapter in the middle of the book, which is kind of weird. And so then when I got to the book and it started in different places, it was kind of odd. So I like read like the first couple chapters, and then I'm like, wait, what is going on? Like, I'm so confused. And then I realized what it was, and then I was like, oh, okay. But I never actually finished reading it, so that's kind of one of the ones that's been lingering on my series list as well. I think there's a few more in that series though, but I would like to get those read as well. And last year, if any indication of going from 52 books to 71 is a indication of how quickly I read romance novels, hopefully those won't take forever, so we'll see. But those are on the end of my list for January. I'll probably shove them into February, maybe, just because romance novels, February, Valentine's Day, I don't know. But we'll see. But they're on my list as well. So my goal is to get at least 3 of these 6 books read before the month of January is done, and I feel like it's pretty doable. I'm pretty sure Foolish Hearts, there's not, I think there's a reasonable page count. I know Court of Thorn and Rose is a little daunting, which is also why I've kind of been putting off reading that series, because that many pages is kind of daunting to me. And then A Clockwork, I'm about half-ish way through it anyway, so I'm not super worried about that one. And then The Last Star and the 2 romance novels, I think I can manage, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I love to know what you guys are trying to read this month for your TBR and that kind of thing. If you're reading any of this, or if you're reading any of these, or if you have read any of these and you loved or hated them, I would love to know your opinions, but please no spoilers. I guess we'll see what I get through this month and figure out what I'm going to be reading next month. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, and if you like to see other videos like this, please make sure you subscribe. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I hope you have an amazing week, and I will see you guys next Tuesday. Bye!